Hey everyone, welcome back to A1 Storyteller, the channel where we dive into the stories that matter, bringing you the latest in real-time events, shocking incidents, and inspiring tales that'll leave you glued to your screen. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because you won't want to miss what we have in store. Today we have a story that will make you question perceptions, break stereotypes, and show you the real power of recognition. Get ready for an unbelievable moment of fate, power, and, of course, change. Let's jump right into it. Main story. Police made black man pick up trash for walking, shocked to learn he's new governor. It was a typical morning in the small but bustling city. The streets were filled with the everyday hum of traffic, the sounds of people rushing to their destinations, and the steady pace of the city's rhythm. But on this particular morning, one encounter would not only change the life of an unsuspecting man, but would also lead to a monumental shift in the way people viewed power, privilege, and race in this community. The man in question, whose name we would later come to know as David Marshall, was simply going about his day. He wasn't in any rush, wasn't dressed in anything extravagant, just a simple hoodie, jeans, and sneakers. He was taking his usual walk around the park, his favorite way to clear his mind before starting the day. Little did he know, this walk would lead to an experience that would challenge everything he had ever known about how people are judged based on their appearance. As David walked down the street, he noticed the faint sound of sirens in the distance. Within moments, a police car pulled up beside him. The officers inside had been patrolling the area, and for reasons that would soon become clear, they immediately took issue with David's presence. The exchange started off as nothing more than a routine stop, but the situation would escalate in a way that neither David nor the officers could have anticipated. "Hey, you there," one of the officers called out as he got out of the car. "You're loitering. What are you doing here?" David, confused but not wanting to escalate the situation, calmly explained that he was just walking, trying to get some fresh air before starting his workday. But the officers weren't having it. They were determined to teach him a lesson, their biased assumptions clouding their judgment. One officer looked at him and sneered, "You know what? You need to do something useful. Pick up that trash over there." David tried to protest, explaining that he wasn't responsible for the litter, but the officer's tone grew harsh. "You're just another person causing trouble. Maybe this will teach you some respect." Caught off guard but not wanting to make things worse, David bent down, picked up the trash as he was instructed, and disposed of it in a nearby bin. The police officers seemed satisfied, a smug look on their faces as they returned to their patrol car. But here's where things took a dramatic turn. As David stood up, dusting his hands off, he overheard a conversation between the officers. They were talking about the upcoming election and how there was a new governor taking office in the state. They mentioned his name, and David froze. The new governor's name was David Marshall. David had been elected as the new governor of the state just weeks ago, but due to the secrecy and security surrounding high-profile politicians, he had been living under the radar, quietly preparing for his new role. No one, not even the officers, recognized him. His decision to live modestly, avoiding the spotlight as much as possible, had kept his... But now, standing in front of the officers who had just humiliated him, David realized that he had an incredible opportunity. What would happen if they found out who he really was? As if on cue, one of the officers turned to him and said, "You should be lucky we didn't arrest you for causing trouble." That was when David decided to speak up. With a calm but firm voice, he replied, "Actually, I'm the new governor of this state, and you just made a mistake that might change how you view the people you interact with." The officers were silent for a moment, their faces turning pale as realization set in. The man they had just humiliated, the one they had wrongly assumed was a nobody, was actually the one who now held the power to make decisions that could impact their careers and their futures. David then went on to explain how systemic racism and prejudice could cloud judgment, especially when it came to the way people of color were treated. He spoke of how people from all walks of life could end up in positions of power, but that didn't mean they deserved to be treated any differently than anyone else. His voice was strong, his message clear. The officers were shocked, They were not only embarrassed, but also ashamed. They never thought that the man they had so easily assumed was just another person on the street was someone with the authority to change the very system they worked for. News of the encounter spread like wildfire. David's story quickly gained attention across local news outlets and social media platforms, sparking debates about race, privilege, and how individuals in power should be treated. The fact that he had responded with such dignity and grace in the face of disrespect left many people in awe, and it became clear that this incident was about more than just a case of mistaken identity. It was a wake-up call for the community. What an unbelievable turn of events! From a random encounter to a lesson about prejudice and power, David Marshall's story is one for the books. It's a stark reminder that we never truly know who we are interacting with, and it's always important to treat everyone with respect, no matter their background, appearance, or social standing. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Stories like these deserve to be heard, discussed, and acted upon. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to A1 Tech for more shocking stories, inspiring people, and powerful moments that will leave you thinking long after you've finished watching. Until next time, stay open-minded, stay humble, and always stand up for what's right.